The DaVinci Resolve 21 update is good, like it's really good. But why have you only heard about features like the photo page and spell check? Everything from changes to keyframing to tons of new nodes that you may not have heard of are all in this update. Let's start with a few quickfire. Subtitle clips now have fade in and out handles like every other clip. In the media pool, you can create tabs to take you to specific folders, a bit like you can do in Finder on macOS or who knows on Windows. And you can now customize the cover image for your projects, so that disturbing still from the start of your footage doesn't haunt that one project forever. If you want more details on how to use these updates, in the description I'll have a link to a page that has each change explained, with instructions from Blackmagic Design, the company that makes DaVinci Resolve, and any videos that I have to help. Second up is one for those without the latest £5,000 machines, and it's rendering magic masks into matte nodes. Even if you do have a powerful computer, you may have come across magic masks losing their render frequently, so this is the solution to all of that. This creates a new matte node, which is just a kind of mask, with the cutout of the magic mask saved. Just as you can loop keyframes in the Fusion tab, you can now do the same in the Edit tab's new splines window from the previous update. Just create the first set of keyframes and then loop them to infinity, making those repeated animations like this so much easier to create. Another feature from keyframing in the Fusion tab that's joining us in the Edit tab is seeing multiple tracks of keyframes available at once. In the Fusion tab, you can see multiple nodes keyframes together. And now in the Edit tab, by multi-selecting clips, you can do the same, making aligning those animations between clips so much easier. This is especially nice to see, hopefully helping move some of that simpler graphics work that doesn't need the full power of nodes out of the Fusion tab and into the timeline. Especially for those making the move from Premiere Pro and not wanting to touch that side of the software. Number 7, when creating keyframes on audio volume from the Edit tab timeline, you can now do this with subframe accuracy based on the audio sample. Don't worry if half those words sounded French to you, this means you can create audio keyframes between frames whenever you need them, making it easier to remove microphone knocks and precisely change volume on segments of audio. Now this next one is a lifesaver. If you've ever used mono audio clips from microphones like this one, then you'll know that previously, upon dragging a mono audio clip into a stereo timeline track, it would just play through one side or channel. In the DaVinci Resolve 21 update, when placing a mono audio clip inside a stereo audio track, it will automatically place the same mono track through both sides or ears. It's changes like this that save you the time of sorting this in clip attributes that sometimes make the biggest difference day to day. If you don't already have automated project backups enabled, first sort that out, and then you can take advantage of this next change. In the backups panel for a project, you can now see the difference between the current project state and the backup that you've selected, with changes highlighted between the two. Next is one I wasn't expecting, the Krokodove toolset. The Krokodove toolset. Never heard of it. Well, it's being added to the Fusion tab, and all of its nodes are on screen now. Oh wow. There's quite a few of them. And modifiers too. Just a few that I spotted as they flew by. Everything from the beat modifier, letting you drive animation based on a BPM, to the time mapper, letting you, and I quote, combine different times of a sequence controlled by an external image map.
What does that mean?
I think that'll just take too long to explain, because Next is an improved macro editor. Now, to be honest with you, this is one that has made me the most excited to see. If you want to save that cool effect that you've just made in Fusion, you can create a macro that saves it like a plugin effect. In fact, this is actually the first step to creating a plugin, but I digress. The interface for doing that used to be very awkward and confusing, with limited control without going into the code. But that's all changed. Now you get a nice preview of what the Inspector tab will look like when the macro node is clicked. Select the stuff from the controls you want to show in your macro, drag stuff around, create sections and more. A super exciting one is audio-driven Fusion effects. That's right, we're thinking visualizers, lyric videos, This is a modifier for any numeric value on a node, although you could adapt that with some custom controls and expressions. Now bear with this demo of it. It's quite a flashy sequence. Without looking too far into it, feeding it certain frequencies of a song are probably going to be your best bet. And I got something slightly more usable with an EQ and limiter applied to the source audio. It looks like it's using some of the mid to higher frequencies and definitely needs some smoothing out for most use cases, so software like Cavalry is probably going to be your best bet for music visualizations if you haven't heard of that before. Number 13, in the Fusion tab you can now easily create global variables. This means, for example, if I had multiple graphics I've made in the timeline, I could have the color values for my color palette stored in the global variables, and then I could change that for everything from one place across the entire project. And finally is Affinity layers importing. Now you've probably heard of this one, but bear with me. If I have a design in Affinity, software recently bought and made free by Canva, then on dragging a .aff file into the timeline, you can right-click to go expand the layer groups from the source. But where the real game changer in this comes from is the fact that you can make changes to this Affinity document and those changes update live into your timeline, hopefully making that process of taking a design and then animating it much easier. And you can still edit things individually. But to bring those into the Fusion tab, just expand all the layers, select them all, and choose New Fusion Clip. Now you can use those individual layers as nodes, which will update as you make changes to the original design. Hopefully that will make for a much smoother graphics animation workflow, and yes, I know SVGs exist, but they're a pain to work with and can't be updated like this. So that's them all. I know, how time flies. Once again, you can find information on all of these features in the description of the video, and let me know what you thought of this video in the comments, or anything else that you'd like a tutorial on.